Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are live. Let's go. You know how we roll here, folks. We know how we roll. We don't do excuses. We just get stuff done. We get it done. Get it done. One second. Let me get all this stuff shared out so we can get to work. Recap. We just busting off a recap today. Diving into all things mental adjustments, folks. Mental adjustments. How do you make the necessary mental adjustments if being great is what you're trying to be, if greatness is what you're striving for? You got to make mental adjustments, and you have to expect for problems to come up. Whatever you plan, whatever it is you had in your head that you were going to do, you have to expect for things not to work out according to plan, and be very versed and be very much prepared to adjust mentally. Mental adjustments. That is what we will be recapping. That's what we've been talking about all week in regards to what we do over here in the Move Swiftly platform in terms of how we move. Jeez, I need some water. In regard to how we are more so focused on moving towards a system, making it so the systems are what we depend on, and that the systems are working harder than the individual, because the systems are things that could be duplicatable. The systems are things that could be taught to somebody else who's willing to put in the work. The systems is how you build generational wealth. It's not because of what's going on in your own head and you just trying to give people this, give people that, give people this. No, it's you being committed enough to stick to a system and continue to go, continue to grow, continue to build, continue to maneuver your way around difficult, challenging situations, no matter what goes on, because you have developed your system. What is your system, folks? What is your system? All right. So all that being said, let me just introduce myself really quick to any newcomers around here. My name is Aswan Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, soon to be 6-time, baby. Oh, it's ready. Like the type and the fingers are just moving. It's so close. All right. Soon to be 6-time published author and educator. And I created this whole brand, this whole concept, this whole way of life, this whole mindset that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners, so they have a staff and or a group of employees that moves just like the efficiency, the hunger, the passion. You want them moving incredibly like identically like a championship high school or youth football team. That championship high school football team that you are watching right now. See, this is why I love this time of year. I love this time of year because we're watching championship caliber high school and youth football teams. You see how they maneuver. You see the focus. You see the direction they're going. You see the hunger in their eyes, like that sparkle in their eyes. That like, look, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm going to grind. I'll bust my ass to get there, right? Because there's still. This is why I tell you guys, it's high school and youth football, in which is where I'm going to transition your business to look like, because at the high school and the youth level, none of those players are necessarily where they want to be. So there's a level of hunger that you get in them versus the college and pros guys who are getting paid now. And the college and pros guys, they're already they got the money coming in, and they're already settled in their position and their talent at that level to compete at the collegiate and or the pro level. Your talent has to be on something in a different way to where it becomes such a natural thing in terms of what you do. Now what determines the difference between a college and a pro player is now going to just kind of be work ethic, situational stuff, what's the best fit for the team, all that kind. But the youth and the high school level, oh no, it's hunger. It's like, I'm going at it, and I am not letting there's no way I will let the man beside me beat me. There's a competitive spirit. There's a hunger there that I have figured out ways to capture and implement that in your business. That's what you want. That's what you want in your organization. All right. So all that being said, like I mentioned, today we're just recapping everything that we discussed from Monday through Wednesday, all about mental adjustments, all about, hey, when I have a plan, when I have a goal, when I have something that I want to be doing, I have to be willing and I have to be able to mentally adjust based on the situation. This right here, and to be honest with you, to be 100% honest with you, when you're talking mental adjustments, part of the fabric in terms of being able to mentally adjust is you have to have a really, really big heart, and you have to have the goal of wanting something bigger than yourself, wanting to work with people that are bigger than yourself, and be willing to, make a change in your specific circumstance or your specific situation, because you're doing it for the betterment of a team. All right. You're doing it for the betterment of an organization. What made me actually come up with this subject is the fact that, again, I've recently been named the sport and fitness director at the school that I currently teach at. And I had this immaculate plan to create all sorts of sport and fit, because, again, I come from the sports background. I have a sports background from the fitness world. That's the world I come from. So I've trained grown adults to high schoolers to little kids, all sorts of age levels and age ranges in which I've trained with or trained, either whether it was me training myself or me actually training someone or, developing in this world. I've been in the game for quite some time now, and I had this great plan to do certain things with the students. But again, I'm dealing with a group of kids that are K-5, and certain things they're just not ready for. So I had to pare it down, make sure they got something out of every class, make sure they got something out of everything. And then we just go along with the flow based on the skill level and their development and how they're able to develop, which actually is not this week, but the following week from next week. We're going to be talking confidence. And then the following week, I actually just wrote it down. We're going to be talking growth and development the following week after, I'm taking a trip to Maryland this weekend for my nieces. It's crazy that I'm actually saying this right now, but taking a trip to Maryland for my niece's 16th birthday party, and that just the saying that is pretty crazy for me, because again, this was my first baby, first baby that I've seen now, about to be 16 years old and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be quite the experience this weekend. But I am looking forward to being back home in the city that raised me, the city that birthed me, man, the DMV. I haven't been back in August in quite some time. When I've gone back, it's usually been for Thanksgiving or for Christmas and stuff like that. But this is going to be my first time back in Maryland in the August month when you got football going around. I'm only going to be there for the weekends. I don't know if I'm going to have too much time to run around and check out certain practices, and it's just going to be the weekend. But I'm sure there are going to be some scrimmages going on, and just being there, during as football is going on, is going to bring back that's a lot of the reason why this thumbnail was the way it is, because again, football, high school football, youth football, that was what it gives me the confidence to be able to tell you as a business owner, I can teach your organization how to operate like a championship team at those levels. That's what gives me the confidence. All right. So all that being said, let me actually get through some announcements. Get through the announcements today before I go too deep into the weeds, because if I start talking that, you already know, regular consumers, you already know I'm gonna start going in. But let me just get through these announcements real quick, and then we'll go from there. So, business owners, if you have not yet, make sure you go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com. That is freeguide.makeyourmove.com. It is a very simple, easy to understand formula that we work from around here. It's number one, establishing measurables, adding that to creating a professional distance, and creating a solid mix between those two things, and that leading to a productive environment. All right. Hear me. Those two things are very, very important. All you do, you click this link right here. You click this button right here, and you put in your information. And then from there, you'll get a free guide. Yeah, you'll get a 10-step process in which you can start utilizing that right now in your business. So again, that is freeguide.makeyourmove.com. All right. Next thing. We will officially be starting, let's see what day. So the 14th, 16th, I'll be in Maryland. 23rd, I'll be at a preseason. And the 30th, Saturday, August 30th. All right, Saturday, August 30th, the official start to college football, I found a spot, found my place in which I will be doing a live college football show. It's called Film Session Saturday. If you already follow that channel on YouTube, just share it out, continue to play. You'll see clips. You're going to start seeing clips being broken down every day. I think I scheduled it for every day for a clip from the Ohio State-Texas game last year to be broken down. We're going to be breaking down college football every single Saturday from 11:30 to 2:30. Come to Duffy's, hang out, grab a great. They have 2-for-1 specials there all day, every day. There's going to be some thinking of some giveaway ideas and stuff like that. All that stuff is being worked out. I was actually there this past Saturday, just getting the feel for the place. So I'll be there it was this past Sunday for a Dolphins preseason game. I was there, just kind of chatting it up and stuff like that. What we will be doing with this show, the clear indication, if the show is for you, if you are a business owner that sees the parallels, that understands it, or even if you don't, but wants to figure out how you can use the game of college football that is so popular, that is huge. All right. It's many people's views, including mine, it's better than the NFL. How do you use that as an example towards building your business? How do you use that as an example towards creating loyalty in your organization? How do you use that as an example to build something in your organization where you have passionate folks that are coming into your organization and they're taking the initiative, they're taking it upon themselves to be great. Same way you get players coming into these college programs and they're committed, man. They're showing up, 4 or 5 a.m. They're working out before practice, after practice. They're busting their ass watching film. They're doing what they have to do to keep their bodies in check. They are committed to the organization. You want that in your organization. You want your employees to think like that. So because it's one of my superpowers in the code I've cracked, I will be breaking down what we call a weekly scenario. I'm going to put the question out there for you as a business owner. Hey, how would you handle this? And how would you handle this situation? And allow you to think about these things so you can start making them apply to your business and making them applicable to your business. That's what we're going to do. All you have to do, just follow the steps. Very easy to understand. Follow the steps right there. And you will get an email from us really much breaking down the scenario, and we'll be addressing it either live on the show, or if you want to address it live on the show. I know there's some people that aren't as comfortable public speaking as I am, so that is totally fine. If you don't want to necessarily get behind this mic and talk about it, I'll bring it up and I'll address it, because it's what I do. It's what I do, and it's how we get down over here. So now, for my favorite kind of people over here in the Move Swiftly world, the folks that we really, really, really go after are the folks that are like, look, I just want to bump all that free stuff. I want to know who I could pay. I want to pay somebody to get some stuff done. Free stuff is great. We love it. But if I'm serious about where it is I'm trying to go in my business, I'm serious about what it is I'm trying to do, and I'm ready to pay someone to make it so they're helping keep my employee retention rates high. I don't want to continuously lose money over and over and over again, because I'm constantly replacing staff and I'm constantly dealing with turnover. I need a system in place. If this is you, I'm just describing our ideal client, our ideal person here. I am sick and tired of constantly replacing staff, and I need a system in place that's going to make it so the staff is either going to develop, or there's something in place for me to outsource the thing that I'm not able to find in a staff member. That's how we're going to roll. All right. It's, again, you either asking the right questions and making it so the person that's coming in is doing the things and taking the initiative and growing and developing and, making it so your company is enhanced, or you're going to outsource what that person is supposed to do, that person that you're envisioning for whatever role it is you're asking them for. Are you able to now outsource it in a way that you can, move on from them if they're not getting the job done? That's what we teach over here. All right. So if you're interested in that, it's makeyourmove.com. Just click the shop now button. You'll get a copy of You won't get a copy unless you pay for it. But yeah, there's copies of my books there. There's employee development workshops. You can work out all your payment plans. Actually, if it's not on here yet, but trust and believe, there's some coffee mugs coming. There's some coffee mugs. There's gonna be more, maybe stuff for adults there, because I've been told that the Plus LY. Actually, I'll be talking a little bit about this tomorrow in tomorrow's video. But I've been told that the Plus LY with pencils is kind of catering to kids and all that kind of stuff. It's a great logo, but it's catering to kids. So I do have a new logo that's coming. I'll be dropping. I'll show you guys a little bit tomorrow, and we're gonna be thinking about. I'm thinking maybe some coffee mugs or briefcases, something along those lines. All right. So all that being said, again, makeitmove.com. That's the main website to check out. And you can do all your research on me here on this one website. Turn your business into a championship team. It is common knowledge that the best way to win in business or in life is by avoiding ways to lose. Whether you've just started a new business or you've been in business for quite some time, there's no getting around the need to hire or outsource certain elements of your organization so things can run as efficiently as possible. When you book your meeting with Aswan, he'll diagnose what the issues are with your current system and then strategically create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. Woo! Yes, it's a mouthful. That was a mouthful. And do it every day. And I am getting better at it because I have made the commitment to develop. It's either you're growing or you're dying. It's either you're getting better or you're getting worse every day. There's no staying the same, which is the bullshit that a lot of these media folks, the bullshit that that society likes to feed you, is that there's some sort of possibility that you're going to stay the same in the next 24 hours. That's not possible. You're either going to get better or you're actually going to get worse in the next 24 hours. It's really up to you. It's really your decision. It is your decision to either get better or worse within the next 24 hours. And then you're going to get a next 24 hours where you have the opportunity to get better or worse, not stay the same. That's one of the reasons they say through better or worse when you're getting married, not through let's stay the same and stay where we're at now. No, it's through better or worse. Let's decide consciously to get better day in and day out. Let's decide. It's decided. It is a very, very conscious, intentional decision that you have to make every single day to get better, because it's brand new. The next one's not guaranteed, and you got to take advantage of the moment right now. How'd you do it? How do you do it? Ask God every single day, every single morning, every single time you get an opportunity to see that sunrise. Ask him, what can I do to get better today? Tell me what I can do to get better today. Just do something to get better. Just keep eating, get better. You stack that up. You stack the mentality. Here's what I want to teach you guys. And this is not me ranting. This is me actually explaining to you all what it means to make mental adjustments. All right. You got to understand that if you stack up small win after small win after small win, and you just keep building those small wins, if you stack it up and you have the mentality of I'm going to win every day at something, I'm going to win every single day at something, I'm going to win at something every single day, have that mentality, and you just keep stacking up for a week. And then another week goes by, and then another week goes by, then another week goes by. Now you get a month, all right? And if it's that mentality, if you get a month of doing that, it just becomes second nature. And next thing you know, boom, your life just improves, because those months, what happens is it turns into years, and those years turns into a lifestyle, right? Turns into legacy, turns into progress, turns into things that you would forget that you already put out there. Just this past, I think it was either this weekend or last weekend, can't even remember, but I was on the phone. I think it was this weekend where I called my girl to see, I was getting breakfast or whatever. And she was telling me how she happened to just be on one of the YouTube videos that I put out years ago about like book reviews. Like when I first started these YouTube videos, I would start with just doing book reviews. And this is stuff that happened years ago, that's still able to, touch someone and help someone and have someone work through situations. So that's what a mental adjustment's all about. Having the mentality, developing the mentality now. All right. be willing to understand, hey, it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a long road. But if I can stack up these wins, if I can keep stacking up these wins, then I know eventually, keeping the faith, I know eventually something will pop, something will happen in the right direction. All right. So Monday, that's pretty much what we discussed. All right. The question was, what is actually a mental adjustment? All right. And we discussed the trade-offs. All right, we discussed the trade-offs of having mental adjustments, and the thing I use myself as an example. The thing about having the mindset of mentally adjusting or developing this concept, developing this understanding of having to mentally adjust is you're going to come up with a lot of ideas, and you're going to have this sense of optimism and your ambition, and there's going to be just constantly, okay, this can happen. This is the positive side, basically saying you look at the glass half full as opposed to half empty. Now the downside of this is there's so many of those ideas that you're going to have to let go. You're going to have some things that happen, and you're going to try to do this and do that, and plain and simple, it just won't make sense and it won't work. So one of the things that I referred to was a time when I was in Dre's match. Shout out to Dre Baldwin. He had a mastermind that I was in at one point. It was about 3 or 4 years ago now. I still keep up with his work, still, tune into him a lot. So I had this idea when I was in his mastermind to do something called the Move Swiftly membership, which you say it has a nice ring to it, makes sense, pretty cool, all that kind of jazz, cool logo, yada. But then he explained the problem of trying to build a membership. He goes, based on what I want, he basically said it like this, and I'm reading directly from the article now, guys. I was building based on what I wanted to give and not what the market needed. So the mental adjustment is that small shift. Now, instead of offering a vague Move Swiftly membership, I lead with what actually serves my target audience, which is employee development workshops, which is what I was talking about just now in the intros. And he had the reason I wanted to bring that up is because, again, instead of just the typical, there's a membership, it doesn't have to be done like everybody else. But if you have someone coaching you up, if you have someone that's seeing your blind spots and seeing where you're missing, then boom, you're kind of on the right track because you were open enough and willing enough to learn from the folks who've done it before. All right. So that was Monday, getting you guys ready and making it so you knew what was coming. Now, Top 5 Tuesday. There's a science to this. There's levels to this. Hear me. Come on now. There's levels to this. When it comes to mentally adjusting, there are 5 steps that you need to have clarified and you need to know that'll give you the foundation that you need in order to achieve whatever the goal happens to be. Number 1, you see it right there on the screen. You gotta have an end game. You gotta have something in the back of your mind that this is where I want to be 10, 15 years down the line. This is what I want my family to look like. This is what I want my kids to be involved. This is what I want to give my kids. I want to have in place. I don't want to say give them, but this is what I want to have in place for my kids, because this is what I didn't have, or these are the holes that I have been called to fill. This is my end game. What are the answers to those questions that I ask? If you can't answer those directly in your mind, all right, you can't answer those, then you are not ready to properly mentally adjust. Hear me. Your end game needs to be absolutely crystal clear in your own mind and in your heart. All right. That they're going to be working in 2 ways. All right. In your mind and in your heart, your end game has to absolutely be clear. All right. I say your heart and your mind because your heart's going to get you to number 2, which is you need some backbone. All right. You need some fucking backbone. when people take advantage of you, when people start taking advantage of what you're willing to do, you got to have the heart to say, I ain't fucking doing that. Because that's bullshit that you would tell a person to do something at a time when they're trying to build something for themselves or build something for their families. And you got to have the heart to tell people, hey, that isn't fair. That is wrong. All right. Without the backbone component, you're just, again, being someone that's being taken advantage of. So number 1 and 2, your end game got to be tight, got to be something you believe in, got to be something you get really, really passionate about, really, really strong, and get that energy to where you're ready to fight for it if need be. Because from that point, from 1, bang, number 2 comes. End game, backbone. End game, backbone. End game, backbone. We clear, folks? All right, now, next thing. After your end game and your backbone, now you get inspired. Now the flexibility. So 3 and 4 are kind of similar, but you have to start with 3. You have to have more information. You have to develop more information. Oh my, I love telling the story because it's important. And I recommend anyone listening to me to go and take as many classes and take as many foreign languages as possible. But yesterday we were in a staff meeting, right? And it was a positive. It was one of the first ones that I actually had the time to attend because, I usually drive the bus and I'm all over the place after school. So it was good for me to sit in on this meeting. But there was a question that came up because we also work with, I think it's an adult literacy center. But there was a question that came up about teaching people who don't speak English how to read and how to develop in the language and kind of get them going in society. And we have a particular staff member, I won't put her name out there because she's not the person she's not the person at all that would be okay with it, but she knows who she is and she's listening. But she speaks multiple languages, Creole, Spanish, whatever. I mean, I remember there was a time actually last year where I wanted to ask a lady who spoke Spanish a question. I had to go grab her and, she asked the question, all that. So the value, right? The more information, the better, because it leads to conversation, it leads to you being the person that folks call in certain situations when they just need a helping hand. That's what I mean when I say more information. The more things you can do, the better. And then right there, from 3 to 4, now you get to be flexible. Now you get to maneuver a little bit. Now you get to say, okay, this is how we do this. And this is how we do this because I have this person on my team. All of that stuff happens. So 3 and 4. And then now the difficult part, the part that everyone needs to hear, including the one I just referred to, is you got to be willing to lose acquaintances. You got to be willing to lose friends. You got to be willing to lose people that are not building something with their own lives, that are not moving in the same direction as you, that don't have the mindset, that don't have the level of focus that you have. If you're not willing to do that, then all the information, all the flexibility, your background, all of that shit goes away if you are not willing to just lose some friends. This shit happens. Move on. You got to be willing to do that too. All right. So that was Top 5 Tuesday. Again, go back, listen to the full episode in context. And just yesterday, I usually keep this around 30 minutes. So I'll briefly dive into this. Yesterday, I just threw my stats out there, baby. I threw my stats out there from 6th grade to 12th grade. There's not a team that I lost to that I didn't either experience beating before or after. And I didn't say that necessarily to brag, even though it sort of sounds like a humble brag and stuff like that. But I did say it because I was a captain on multiple of those teams and I was fully invested. So when it came to me now leaving those programs and going into college and, losing and being a part of losing programs, and where I coached at Blake High School was like a losing culture, I had to mentally adjust to how okay folks were with losing, because the truth is it was losing on the scoreboard, but just doing it and being out there, being a part of the team and developing a bond with the other teammates and learning things and handling adversity and things like that. All of that was actually winning. So again, you didn't necessarily win on the scoreboard, but there were wins in terms of developing your mentality, and that really, really was a big one for me. because again, I come from a winning culture where, hey, there's a lot of great motivational speeches and a lot of cool things, but at the end of the day, we want to win games. All right. We want to win games. That's what we're about. We gotta win games. We gotta win games. So I love the game so much, baby, because you're not gonna win them all, but the striving to constantly win them all. Oh, that's sweet. That's the kind of stuff that gets me excited. All right. So all that stuff is available on this very channel. Again, be sure you're liking, comment, subscribing, sharing this out. We're at this thing every single day. We do not take days off over here in the Move Swiftly world. We add our plus LY, which means lift yourself, by the way. We add it every single day, practicing what we preach, all right? Main website again, let me just put it out there one more time. Main website again to check out, to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing. Do all your research on me. Bring me in to implement this into your organization. It's MakeYaMove.com. That is MakeYaMove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.